Hey guys, Sundan here. This is going to be my chapter review to My Hero Academia, Boku no Hero Academia 216, the conclusion of Class A versus Class B. And I'm going to go through this with no script because I haven't written anything up for this. And it's a pretty simple chapter to get through, really. Not too much actually went down. So we start off with Shinso kind of cursing the fact that... Let me put that on silent. Cursing the fact that he and his team have been defeated by Class A, but it's not the way I thought he'd go, which is he'd be incredibly angry about the fact that, you know, everyone's pushing ahead of him and he's just kind of lingering behind. He seems to be happy about it, and he's like, the hero class really is amazing. So I thought that was a really good way to kind of develop Shinso's character. Instead of being full of hate that all these guys are kind of ahead of him, he's using it as motivation for this is the level that I want to be at. These are the guys that I want to compete against, and they're pretty amazing. So these are the guys I'm competing against. I really like that. So we see Monoma getting locked up. Phantom Thief, I think, is his hero name. We see the Kakashi looking girl whose hero name is Emily. We see Rule and Mines, all really shitty hero names. And then you see Shinso, who has no hero name, and obviously they're all locked up. And then we have Midnight announcing that Class A won the kind of test in a 3-1-1 fashion. So Class A won. You see Class B, and I actually like this as well. Like you see people like Manga and the Mushroom Girl, who like the Mushroom Girl seems to be kind of competitive anyway. But Manga, he's like, I'm not a competitive guy, but my spirit was burning in this, and I feel like I feel like it's kind of that in the future he hopes that maybe we can win against these guys because of the way that they conducted this test. And I think that's really important. You always have to have competition or know your competition in order to get better, and that's what Manga is feeling for the first time. So then we have Shinso speaking to Vlad and Aizawa, and he says he's still too weak, and he tells him that he knew that this was his transfer exam because of the season, because of the format of the battles, because he was the only one that had two tests, or he was put into two tests essentially, and he wasn't given his support item, which is his mic thing. I mean, like, he does say without his support item, but I thought he had his mic thing on him. I'm not too sure, but apparently he didn't. So Vlad is like, yo, this guy's pretty perceptive, and Aizawa was like, forget about that. Let's just go and get the teacher's critiques out of the way. So this was the important part of the chapter. And I thought we then go on to Aizawa asking, like, while giving his critique and asking the kids like what they did and all that shit. I thought this was a really, really dick move from Aizawa. You can say what you want about what Aizawa did here, but I thought this was a dick move because Aizawa knows that All Might gave Deku One for All. He knows that. I think the teachers are aware of the fact that All Might has given One for All to Deku, and that he's the successor to One for All. And he goes out of his way here, and he says to Deku, he's like, "Yo, what's your deal? Like, for a few moments, and for a new move that you had, it seems to kind of deviate from your super strength. Like, what was the principle behind it? Why did you have all this black stuff emitting from your body and stuff like that? That's nothing to do with your super strength." I was like, dude, you know he has One for All. Like, that is like, and you know that he's not aware of all of its abilities. He's not completely in control of it. He's about 20% of it. And a lot of things that are going on with One for All, he's not completely aware of. Why would you ask him about his quirk in front of everyone when his quirk is being kept a secret from everyone? And you know that. I thought that was a really dick move, and I like the way that Deku actually approached it. He's like, I'll be as honest as I can without dodging the question and without giving things away. So he's just like, I didn't fully understand it either, and to be honest, it felt like my power was like attacking me, and I felt really scared and all that stuff. And you see All Might quite concerned here, but then Deku obviously shouts out Uraraka and Shinso saying that, like, these guys were the ones that stopped me, and like, I quickly realized that my quirk wasn't trying to end my life. It was just kind of an anomaly. And he also goes on to say that if Shinso had knocked him out unconscious, then he doesn't know what he would have done. So he tells Shinso here, which is what I actually said last chapter. I was like, I hope he tells Shinso that it wasn't just a bluff, so that Shinso doesn't go like, I'm never going to show mercy to anyone ever again. So he tells Shinso, he's like, yeah, you know what, I wasn't bluffing, I was actually as confused as you were. And he thanks both Shinso and Uraraka. And then we have Midnight here saying, oh, you know what, Shinso is great and all that good stuff, and Mirio is going on a rampage. but it was Uraraka who impressed her. She's like, she jumped in to calm her friend down, put her body on the line. She loves that kind of thing. And then we have Mina just like, oh yeah, you know what, Uraraka, you kind of did jump in without a second thought. I mean, like, it was real fast. And she's like, especially the part where you embrace Deku like passionately, and you see friggin' what's her name, Uraraka, just reddening, and she goes completely sunburnt, like tomato colored, and she was like, oh, maybe I acted too soon and stuff like that. But I really like what they did with Uraraka here, which is she's not the girl who's gonna stand by and do nothing and then regret it later, which is probably who she was at the beginning of the manga. She would much rather do something rather than nothing and then have no regrets later on. So I think that was really cool. And obviously this cutesy part was actually just for me, it was just trying to show that Uraraka has changed. And even Aizawa says it. He looks at Ochako, he looks at Uraraka, and he's like, he remembers her saying that she wants to save people, and he's like, you know what, you've really grown. You've really shown that you want to take on your responsibilities as a hero, and you want to pursue your idea of a hero to the bone. So while she's like sunburnt and tomato red, we also see Deku, who's sunburnt and tomato red from the embarrassment. And you see Shinso here owning up, being honest. He's like, you know what, I didn't do it only for Midoriya. I didn't stop him only for Midoriya. I just did what Ochako told me to do. But also I saw that my teammates were being attacked, and if something wasn't done, they would probably get wrecked anyway. And he goes, and I also stopped Midoriya because I wanted to fight him and win. So it was a selfish thing. He didn't just do it because Ochako told him or because his team were in trouble. He wanted to do it because he wanted to win against Midoriya or Deku in any way. So he says that, you know, this is all about me. It was selfish thinking. I shouldn't be being thanked for something like that, and I shouldn't be raised up on some sort of pedestal like I did something heroic. And you get Aizawa here, best panel of the chapter, like kind of strangles Shinso with his own bandages, and you see everyone reacting like, yo shit, like a teacher's kicking the shit out of one of our classmates. And Aizawa lets him know here, he's like, you've got too high expectations for yourself. He's like, all these kids here have been through hellish training day in day out so they can become heroes to save people, and it would take someone like All Might to ascend to a level where he can just think about others rather than himself. Where these kids are at, they shouldn't be thinking of anything along the lines of, for the sake of other people, I need to get this strong, or I need to be able to do this. They're at a stage where it's all about, I need to improve myself for myself against my peers, so that I can then get to a level where I don't have to concern myself. You get to that level of mastery where you don't think about what you're doing and how you're doing it. You think about everything else, the external factors. So that's what Aizawa was trying to get across here. Is like, if you're trying to think about the sake of others and doing things for the sake of others, you're not going to be able to prioritize your feelings very well, and you're eventually not going to be able to do anything. What you need to be doing is what you actually did, and focus on yourself, do things for yourself, and improve that way. So by all means, Shinso did the right thing. So Deku's just there, like, then he kind of keys in on what he feels Shinso did well. He's like, you know what, you were trying to lure me into your team to give yourself an advantage. You were dropping these pipes, you were moving around with your binding cloth really quickly like Aizawa. And he was like, in the first set, I thought your team's abilities had really helped you to shine and all that good stuff. But then the key part with Shinso obviously is his decision making and his physical abilities, which we've never seen him actually utilize the bandage cloth he's utilized in this test. So what Deku's saying here is, and Deku being an analytical mind, he's like, all of these little things you did were breaking me out in the cold sweat, but they were really cool, they were really unique, and they make you what you are. So what he's essentially trying to tell Shinso is like, all these things that you've done to improve yourself, they're things which are awesome, and like they're things that you should continue to do. And then Deku's like, but if we're talking about helping others, I'm the one that really needs work, talking about how his quirk kind of went on a rampage and he wasn't able to help others. But then again, he should also take Aizawa's advice, which is focus on yourself, focus on your quirk, and focus on yourself rather than how it affected other people. You need to think about how it affects you and whether you can control it. And then obviously once you've figured that out, it won't be affecting other people anyway. So Vlad then says, you know what, Shinso has passed his test. He will transfer to the hero course next year, so don't start competing with him and all that stuff. They don't say which class he's going to be a part of or anything like that. And then we have Monoma going on one of his crazy ones again, saying, we may have lost, but we didn't fail that badly and all that shit. And he's like, ha ha ha, laughing and all that shit. But the key moment here is he mentions One for All being a dud, and Deku over here is like, I don't understand, what does he mean by dud? And I thought this was pretty obvious, but from their perspective, from Deku's perspective as well, it's not very obvious that Monoma couldn't copy One for All, because he copied the quirk, which was the ability to stockpile power. That's One for All, stockpile strength, but he didn't have any stockpiled strength against his quirk, whereas Deku has like 8 other users prior to him that have stockpiled their energies into One for All. So that's why Monoma couldn't actually use it. It wasn't a dud. But I'm not sure if this is going to be made into a plot point or something like that. It seems like they're going to put some value or importance on it. Anyway, Aizawa finishes the chapter by asking Monoma, not asking him, he tells Monoma, he's like, come visit Eri with me tomorrow. Monoma can copy quirks. Monoma and Eri together, bro, they best heal Mirio. They best put him into a state where he has his quirk back again. I'm calling it, everyone I think is calling it, Monoma needs to bring back Mirio. I would be so hype if that happened. So I'm hoping that goes down. I'm hoping Monoma copies Eri's quirk, utilizes it to bring back Mirio's quirk, and everything's good again. So let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in a bit.